What's up, YouTube? It's Tyler. Welcome back to my channel. Roll the intro. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the main factors of photography and filmmaking. We're going to start out with shutter speed, what it does, and when to use it. So we're going to start with 1,000 of a second. When you're using a high shutter speed, that's going to be used on like cars, portraits maybe, if you want everything sharp and you're holding the camera handheld and it's not on a tripod and you don't want anything in the photo blurry. You're going to use a shutter speed around 1/25 of a second depending on the lighting around the area that you're shooting in, the location. The higher that shutter speed is, it's going to bring less light in, and it's going to make the image more, it's going to freeze it. If the person's jumping up and down, you're going to catch that person jumping in mid-air. But as you can see on this graph, the lower they go down, the more blurry and more light lets in through the camera, the lens, and into the sensor. The more you go down, it's going to be blurry, more light's going to be in, and everything's just going to be blown out. Let's go to ISO. ISO is a very common topic in photography and filmmaking. People always talk about ISO, like what's the best ISO for portraits, what's the best ISO for night photography, street photography, anything like that. The default ISO is 100. That's a good ISO to start out with, like if you're shooting landscapes, portraits maybe, cars or anything like that. That's just the default ISO. It really just depends on like the area you're in and how much light you're getting outside or inside or anything like that. Some cameras go to 50, but my camera goes to 100. Look on your camera, find the ISO setting and see where it goes, and just have manual movie exposure on. Basically what that does is, it's if you're in live view mode and you look on the LCD screen on your camera, it's going to show you the exposure going up. Your live view image is going to go up and get brighter, or go down and get darker. Play around with that and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The one con thing about ISO is the more you raise it up, the more grainy it gets. And what I mean by grain, if you've ever been in a school or just your TV at home and this loud noise on TV and you go to check it out, it's just a loud noise and just little black, white, gray dots on the TV screen. That's grain. Now put that on an image and that just looks horrible. The more you raise that ISO up, it's going to get more grainy, the more light's going to be let in, and you don't want to post that type of photo to Instagram. Everybody should know that. You want a clean photo with everything sharp, have that depth of field, which we're about to get into, and keep it nice, crisp, and clean. Everything in motion, unless you're shooting night photography, anything that's in low light. I'm going to be talking about the lenses that you will need for low light photography in the next video. I'm trying to get a new lens myself, so if I don't have it, I'll just try and do my best that I can in the next video. On to Aperture. What is Aperture? Aperture is the one favorite thing everybody likes. I love Aperture. I love the concept of it. I love what it does. If you've ever seen photos on Instagram that have that blurry background, that's Aperture. The lower... Alright, in photography, if you see this 1.4, there's no black circle, inner circle around it, like these other ones. So that's opening it wide. In photography, it's way different. This is a large aperture, even though that is a lower number, and this is a low aperture, even though that's a higher number. Why is that? Low aperture has a smaller circle. A higher aperture lets in more light. So whenever you're doing portraits and you want to let a lot of light in and have that depth of field, basically what I mean by depth of field, I mean that blurry background with bokeh and everything like that. Bokeh is basically lights that are blurred majorly and are circles or anything that you are around. You see these circles. This is bokeh. If you have a manual focus ring on your camera, go in live view mode, or even in the viewfinder, twist that until your image gets really blurry and be around a lot of like Christmas lights or anything like that, sparklers like fireworks or anything like that, and look how your camera gets blurry and it will create those circles. That's bokeh. But as you can see in photography, 32 is a low aperture number because it lets less light in, because that dark circle around it is covering that white dot in the center, which is covering all the light and making everything sharp. If you want a sharp image, I would suggest starting out at like 5.6 aperture or f8 or f11. I use f11 to f8 to f5.6. But if you're shooting portraits and your camera and you don't have a kit lens, basically what a kit lens is the lens that you buy your camera with. Like, it already comes with it. That's a kit lens. It's not going to have much capability. It's not going to have... Most kit lenses only go to like a 3.5 aperture, which is not too bad. It gives it that decent background blur, but it's not going to be like 1.4, 2, 2.8, or even low. 1.4 is the lowest you can go, or the highest you can go. That's basically it. I've explained best as I can on what aperture, ISO, and shutter speed is. Learn all those things. Like I said, go in manual exposure mode. Find that setting in your camera. It should be like in the shooting menu if you have a Nikon. I'm not sure about Canon because I'm a Nikon user, but I do want to get a Canon. My dream camera is a Canon 6D. And hopefully I will be able to get that camera someday. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much for the support on my last 2 videos. It really means a lot. I still can't believe we have 10,000 views on that one video. That's insane. Depression is a really big topic, and I just thought I needed to talk about it since I've been in that situation, and I know a lot of people have. So, thank you guys for watching this video. If you really liked this video and you thought it was good information, comment down below, give me some feedback, and maybe I'll even pin your comment. Subscribe if you're new, like this video, it really helps, and you too. I'll see you in the next one.